Great. This is great. I mean, I completely understand now that lot of organizations are already ready to make these kinds of jump to kind of cloud-based modern infrastructure. But as we are going in, we need to start thinking about what kind of initiatives we need to take in order for us to become kind of a data-driven organization. So for building a data infrastructure, bunch of things that you need to think about. These initiatives that you see on the screens are kind of a starting point or sample starting point. And all of these initiatives are being supported by different technology concepts. We need to think about how do we move different kind of workloads that you might have on premises to the cloud. You need to think about different kind of storage models. You need to think about different kind of domains that you need to move to digital world with the cloud kind of thing. You also need to think about different kind of enabling technology concepts associated with that. These are just initial set of initiatives. But as we go in, as we go about these kinds of things, we need to get into like how do we go about those? How do we create a roadmap for achieving the data infrastructure? Now, the very first step in that is first determine your business objective. Go into your strategy discussion, analyze your maturity, where you are, where you want to be, create a plan around it. How do we want to achieve from where we are to where we want to be? Execute on it, implement that kind of solution, and work with kind of this thing to create the vision for the next solution you go in. And just giving you an example about certain things that go in. And one of such example that we kind of involved in a construction company, building a solution for a construction company. We started working on their customer experiences, working on their operational things. But as we are going into those, we started defining different kind of stages in different domains. We went into their finance side of the things. Their need comes in into further domains, and we went into sales and marketing. And in each of the iteration, we kind of go through this whole analysis of where they are, where they want to be, and kind of create a data infrastructure behind the scenes that can support any of these domains that are coming in future. Because as we talked about, this technology is ever changing, ever growing, and that's where we need to make sure that our organizations are ready for that kind of capabilities. So it's great talking about all of these things. Let me quickly summarize about what we all discussed today. We started talking about data-driven organization, the importance for it, the components involved in it, the architecture associated with data-driven organization, different kind of elements that go into data infrastructure. We talked about cloud-based data infrastructure. We talked about modern data warehouse, modern data infrastructure that we have talked about. Then we talked about how do we achieve this kind of data-driven organization status. And that requires us to do proper assessment, proper planning, use frameworks like data infrastructure maturity model, create a roadmap for you to come from to go from one stage to another stage.
So Forrester makes it really simple for us. Picking the right partner for your data journey is essential. We hope you'll consider us as you begin to look at the journey. We're going to send out a quick survey because, again, we want to know how we can help you, how Microsoft can help you. And with that, what I'll do is I'll turn it over to Jordan Weiss for a quick Q&A. And again, if need be, we'll stay on a little bit afterwards to make sure we answer all your questions.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Dharmesh, too. You know, this data infrastructure journey is one that is better going down the path together as we figure out data as a whole. You know, I always say data makes our world go around now, and literally every part of our journey throughout work and everything else is just a data-driven model. So thank you to everyone who has joined, Dharmesh, Scott, everyone on the team. Thank you for making a great live event. So I want to go over some quick questions that we have published. The first one looks like Marie. She's asking, do you have any tips or tricks to transform prep big data sets any faster? Dharmesh, did you have any tips or tricks, or Scott, have you used any tips or tricks along the way?
Let me take that. Big data is a very interesting concept. To me, big data is no different than any other data. It's just the large amount of data. And we are actually essentially, as we are looking at the size of the data that we are talking about, almost all the organizations are getting into the big data domain. The modern data warehouse, as we talk about, or modern data infrastructure, as we talk about, like in order for organizations to work towards, we need to ensure whether it's a small data or mid data or a big data. All of those things are basically kind of being handled through the same infrastructure. For me, big data, whether it's a big data model or whether it's a regular data model, it needs to come from the same data source, from the same data infrastructure, and our data infrastructure needs to be ready with that. There are a lot of things that you need to go specifically to big data, but the combination of data lake storage and the data warehouse capabilities in the modern data warehouse actually make your big data adoption much faster because it's kind of combined in one universal interface.
I also see we have a couple more questions. It's kind of around the same topic here. So let's take the first one. Let's see. There's a few questions coming in actually about big data. Can you go into this a little bit more, Dharmesh?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I mean, I would strongly recommend that please reach out to partners like us who can help you in analyzing what kind of big data solutions you would like to get into, what are your exact specific needs and challenges, and we can go into those details individually because it is more about tailored big data solution around those.
Excellent. Then another popular one is, looks like there's people that have some data infrastructure already, and they're asking, should they still consider the cloud?
Yeah, I would strongly recommend yes. Even if you guys have already invested in a bunch of data infrastructure solutions, there are paths available for you to migrate from your current data infrastructure to a hybrid data infrastructure to a completely cloud-based data infrastructure. And it's again a progression. We are not saying rip and replace kind of thing. It is built over a period of time. And that's where we need to analyze where you are and where you want to be, and kind of create a roadmap around that. If you have already invested in some local data infrastructure solution, which is great because you probably already have invested in thinking about data ingestion into those systems. Most of the times, those data ingestion exercises that you might have already done are easily transformable into a cloud-based data infrastructure solution. And a lot of data infrastructure providers have an equivalent modern data warehouse solutions built over cloud, and there is a very defined migration path for those, so which you can utilize.
Excellent, excellent. As we're getting to the end here, I want to be respectful of everyone's time and say thank you again for coming on this journey. Thank you to Dharmesh and Scott and all the team members that we have here putting this on today. If anyone has any other questions, I will post my email address in the Q&A section. Feel free to reach out. Our phone numbers are also on the screen. Once again, thank you to everyone. Dharmesh, Scott, amazing job. I'll send it over to you guys if you guys have anything else you want to add. And Jordan, yes, thank you. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and Jordan Johnson or Steven Spielberg. So thank you for joining us.